welcome to networking, how talking to strangers can lead to growth. And yeah, I mean, this first bit is I'll stop talking and open the floor to Brian.
All right, thank you. All right. So, hello everyone. It's really nice to see you all. Like some of you, I'm probably like younger than a lot of people expect. I'm currently a college senior, and I'm about to graduate. And currently, I have a job in the summer, so that's great. Uh, yeah. So about networking, so I've kind of am a little bit younger, so I am also beginning to make my network as well. And unlike many of you, I don't actually have any experience in design, hence the really messy nature of my slide, which, I assure you it does serve a purpose. So a little about me. So the first picture is me in the kitchen. It's kind of where I thrive. I love to cook, and in this picture, I'm currently experimenting with baking, and I'm making a pumpkin pie, which you can see to the right. It's a pumpkin chiffon pie with Earl Grey whipped cream. It's my specialty. I'll bring it to every Thanksgiving party you invite me to. um, Next is my school that I go to, Syracuse University. I'm in the Whitman School of Management. I'm studying business management and information management and technology. So, like some of you, I'm in college, so I have some experience with the struggles that you might face with early networking in your professional career. College can actually, while it is a big step, it's also can make us feel kind of isolated from the professional world. We feel very kind of closed off to our courses, and we don't really think about the future as much. Next picture is Syracuse University Esports, which was my main club experience at school. And I served as an executive board member there, and I captained the League of Legends team. So even though there's kind of a stigma about wasting your time in college while playing video games, I actually made a lot of connections there that helped me land my first job out of college. So it's not useless. Next is IterateUX. So I'm a volunteer here at IterateUX as a project manager in growth management. And I highly, highly recommend that if anyone is interested in volunteering, check out any of the offerings, openings we have now or in the near future. So like even someone like me with no experience in UX, you can help with your own unique set of skills that we all bring. Finally is Epic Systems. So this is the job that I'm going to be working starting in the summer. So I'm super thankful that networking actually has allowed me to reach an opportunity like this out of graduation. And finally, about the design, I'm sure all the designers here really are just hating my messy choice of design for the slide. But I really wanted to, with this, show how important it is to be proud of who you are and to lay it bare for the world to see. Being open and accepting of who you are is a really important first step of networking. And all of these sides of me are important. And I really just wanted to showcase that. And, enough about me. I'd love to give it over to my co-host, Kim, who's much more experienced than me.
Oh, I hope I get some. But yeah, hello everybody. My name is Kimberly, and I'm really excited. Here's a little bit more about me in case you didn't know. This is a picture of me. During the pandemic, I actually shaved my head and I grew out my hair, and I'm rocking kind of like a half grown out mullet. So, that's a thing. I really like walks. It helps me clear my mind, especially at work. And that's actually one of my favorite paths. I have a dog. That's not a picture of her, but she looks like that, but better. I love her. She is my whole world. And it's been a pleasure just raising her. And she's taught me so many things. On top of all of that stuff, I am a user experience designer. I'm completely self-taught, and like some others in the audience, I also transitioned into this field from another career. I was actually in property management and real estate, and I was able to bring a lot of that over. What else? Fun fact, I worked at a bank before. It was one of my first design experiences in one of Canada's largest banks. I was able to work as part of their service design team, working alongside some really cool ladies who introduced me into sticky notes and Sharpies, and my whole life changed. Another fun fact, I worked with crypto. So I worked with some crypto startups. I am not qualified to talk about the actual technicalities behind it, but I have learned a lot on how to work with super complex and growing things and buzzwords like NFTs and things. I've also had the chance to work with farmers as a designer. So it was a domain space I never thought I'd enter, but there it was. Another cool thing, most currently, I am a UX designer at WagePoint. This is a startup that builds solutions for small businesses and accountants in the payroll and HR world. So there's a lot that I just kind of, let out in the past, 3 minutes maybe. And similar to Ryan, there is a reason behind all of this madness. I am not a PowerPoint person, first of all. Second of all, I really wanted to try to visualize what it might look like when somebody is hearing your story. So as I was sharing, I wanted to create this slide of cluster and weirdness where you can kind of see the things that I've talked about. If I said, my dog, you can probably visualize it, but you can't really see it. And it's kind of the same way when we're networking. The second that we have our elevator pitch or our, 30-second intro, it can sound like a lot. So this is just something that I wanted to share and visualize so that when we are talking about ourselves, to think about the other person, what they see/hear and pick up. And another piece of this is like these clutters. This clutter, to be exact, is a small fragment of my life. My life is complex. Your life is complex. Our stories are complex. So when we are telling them, make sure that they have enough room to breathe and grow. And that's something that if you don't do, and similar to what Ryan was saying, we don't honor ourselves, it becomes quite hard to show ourselves to the world, especially when we're communicating and connecting with others. So I could have gone, and also I'm not a PowerPoint expert, sorry. And I could have gone in this route, right? I could have said in quick 30 seconds, I graduated, I got into property management, then I went into design. And a lot of the times, this ABC storyline, it's very linear and it doesn't really grasp the complexity of our stories. So one thing I'd like to really highlight is, make sure that you have the openness in your heart to share your story, make it as complex and beautiful as you'd like. And, dedicate some time when networking and connecting with people to, be messy, celebrate this and not this, celebrate the things that were kind of chaotic, kind of messy. It taught you so many things, at least it did for me. Jumping into different careers, going through different life experiences, that teaches you a lot. And that's a lot to bring forth when you're meeting somebody. So embrace the wildness of your life. Really quick thing. Why am I talking about networking? Actually, it has been the bread and butter of how I got to where I am today, by opening my heart, being vulnerable, being open to change. I was able to find a lot of opportunities, including my jobs, my volunteers, my friends. So, I'm a huge advocate for this. Network where possible, connect, when you're able. So now that we've kind of heard a little bit more about me and Ryan's, stories here and there, I'd like to welcome Ryan back up to talk a little bit about building a human network.
Great, yeah. This is a topic that I think is really important and we don't often think about. And one thing when we look at connections, the first thing I really think of is like LinkedIn, right? I'm sure everyone's gotten like a million like spam requests and like trying to build as big of a network as you can. And, while that's great and all, I think for me personally, what's been really important is really having the human aspect and really trying to see the value of a relationship rather than just having a connection. And one thing for me as a student, right? I'm not real, like I'm exposed to a lot of new people, and especially in your senior year, you can feel very closed off because you are focused primarily on just getting your job. Like that's just the first thing and largest thing that's going to be on your mind. So I'm sure a lot of people here have experienced kind of that tremendous weight and pressure that it is to really handle while you're still kind of figuring out who you are and who you want to be. On top of that, you have to figure out where you're going to be in the next 2 months, right? And one thing that I've really learned about this is that everyone really talks about networking, but no one really does it. So what's really helped me in this was in order to gain kind of a clarity and improve perspective on myself and the connections that I'm building, I really wanted to take a step back and looked at the people who guided me to who I am today. So this is kind of where I started my human network. And it started off with really just anyone who I felt really helped me with my journey. First, it was a tutor in high school who saved me from failing math and ended up becoming sort of a mentor for me and really just gave me a lot of perspective. Another person was the older brother of the next door neighbor who I played baseball with when I was little, ended up helping me find out more about project management and was able to actually get me to speak with one of the project managers at his company, and I learned a lot. And even Evan here, who I literally met playing League of Legends, a video game, helped me land my first job. And it's really being able to gain a perspective that you can make connections and build your human network from literally anywhere. And it's not just about getting that +1 connection on LinkedIn. It's about sharing stories and learning from one another. And one thing that's really, really important about this is the ability to be vulnerable. So next, I would like to talk about vulnerability. And this is something that is a very confusing, controversial, and interesting concept. When we're going into these kind of new connections, we want to be like, we have this instinct to be as confident as we can be. We want to give our elevator pitch of who we are and that quick 30 seconds of all our strengths and how we got here today. But it's once those few points are gone that we realize we're actually talking at the person and not with them. And this is where vulnerability comes in. So in my experience, the greatest connections and conversations that I've had actually came through an ability to be vulnerable and honest with the person I'm speaking with. And ultimately, authenticity, humanness, and honesty are going to be the most important points that you bring to a conversation and with someone that you really want to win over, right? And I found that these points are often forgotten or left out due to a fear of being vulnerable or a thought that revealing aspects of yourself, like the religion that you practice, your cultural upbringing, or even struggles with mental health and disability, we fear that this might make us a less attractive candidate. But honestly, it's just important to be proud of who you are and being able to be comfortable to share in these struggles and what we learn from them. And in the end, what I want everyone to remember is that nobody is perfect, but everyone is human. So let's work on making that human network.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more of like that, just being genuine and authentic. And in addition to that, I have a list of a few things. They'll branch off into like some smaller stories, but these are like small lessons that reflecting back, I realized, I really wish I had done more earlier, maybe. I don't know. That's kind of hard on myself, but here are just some things that I think it's really important to consider when we're meeting other people, networking, connecting, whatever it is, building a relationship, really. Person first. Like, this was something that was really difficult because for me, when I started networking, I would look at this title, right? This like huge thing. Oh my gosh, this is like a senior staff, principal, whatever. Google, Amazon, all these other big, titles and companies, that was who I was thinking about rather than, hi, this is Samantha. Hi, this is Sam. I got really caught up in the things that, scared me a lot, and it made me change who I was. So with that, if you can consider to be person first, like, you're not your title, neither are they. Let's just be people to people. And the second being a very, big designer word, empathy, right? Walk in the other person's shoes. Think about the person. If it's a hiring manager, how many DMs, how many in-mails do you think this person gets? Like, it must be really a lot. It's part of their job, sure, but it might be something to consider when you're trying to reach out to them. And if they don't, respond immediately, think about like why, or at least ask them, right? Don't build off of those assumptions and lead with that. Lead with love and empathy. Communicate your intentions. This is something that I was didn't really know how to do, to put it bluntly. I didn't understand that if you were straightforward and you had a plan, that you should communicate that. So a lot of the times it was a lot of, hey, I want to be your friend. Hi, I want to get to know you. But there was no reasoning. So now that I'm, maybe I'm a person that I have a job in UX and people reach out to me all the time about, hey, can you help me do this? It really helps when you explain, like, what are you talking to me about? Why are you talking to me? Why are you talking to me right now? And like, what do you want me to do for you? Give me something that I can follow and use, right? And this is and then fourth point, almost done. I have something to offer. Those are words that I rarely said to myself when I started networking. In the beginning, I didn't have a background in design. I didn't have a job. I didn't have the educational path. I had a lot of fear and a lot of doubt. But as time grew, I realized that I am also very valuable. I have something that this other person that I'm talking to doesn't. I have time. I have an opinion. I have something to offer. And lots of the times when I ended my, hello, nice to meet you, coffee chat thing, I would always offer something, some of my time. I would say, hey, senior manager, hey, person, do you need anything? Because if you need somebody for an interview, if you need somebody to give you feedback, if you need somebody to do a test, I can do that. I have time. And maybe those were things that led me to, making those stronger connections. And my last point, pay it forward. This is for the people that maybe you've landed your first job. Maybe you've landed your third, fourth, whatever. Think about the opportunities that people were willing to offer you. And I encourage you to open your heart and think about what can you do for that person, because most likely we're all here because somebody was able to support you one point in time. So it all comes back full circle. And yeah, these are some of the things I hope that, I know it's a lot. I know it's pretty emotional. Probably didn't think about, stepping into this, coming into networking, right? But we wanted to, change it up. And I think one last thing to really do that I've tried to do to kind of progress myself is to reflect, to think a lot about, what did I do? What did I do right? What did I do wrong? What sucked? What didn't? And really focus on progression of things, not the perfection of, how we are, what we are, where we are. So lots of emotions. I see a lot of cool stuff going on in chat, but I'd like us to move to our next phase. But before that, I want to just open it up. I know there was a lot of emotion there. Ryan, do you have anything that you wanted to add before we get into our activity? Anybody else in the room wanted to just dance a little bit, do anything? We're all here.
I'm good. It was a really good section. I really liked it.
I can do some dance. I wanted to add a plus one on what Kim mentioned about intention, because when I was doing connection with other designers, I didn't know I need to let them know the intention. But one day, I still remember one girl told me, I know you came to me because you would like to know how to get a job. But I also understand that you were just trying to see how to improve your portfolio. But if you can let me know you are not here for a job, I will feel much better and I will be more willing to help you. Then I was like, oh, okay. So does that mean if I say, I'm just here to ask you if you can give me some feedback for portfolio? I'm not looking for a job, just simply for feedback. And then she would be like, yes, that I will give you like what you were at, like right now you're asking, I'm going to do like a document for you. And then you can follow what I mentioned in the document so you can improve. And like few days later, I received like massive documentation saying like, this is how you can improve. And I really, really appreciate, because after that, I really got a lot of hiring manager, not hiring recruiter come back to me and say, according to I see your portfolio, I would like to connect with you. So yeah, intention is very important. You can definitely let other people know your intention. Don't be scared. So good job, Kim.
Yeah.
Good catch.
Don't forget that, there are 2,000 people in the Discord group. You could have 1,999 of these sessions, right? Like everybody who is anybody potentially could be, helpful to you in some way, and a friend, a relationship of sorts. So yeah, don't forget that you're not alone. And thank you for joining us at IterateUX.
Hey everyone, on behalf of IterateUX, we would like to thank you so much for watching this week's event. If you like the content, please leave a like and subscribe. We'll have events every Thursday at 5:30 Pacific Time. Join our Discord in the description to find out more.